blacks, a large number of beheadings, by the way. They beheaded the black people and put their heads on stakes and displayed them along the streets as a reminder to African Americans, don't do this again. Now, even though Nat Turner was a very smart guy, he was also, by any reckoning, he was a religious fanatic. He invoked at every turn the language and the imagery, the idiom, drawn from the Bible. Even though he was a very smart guy, the insistence of white people was that he was a fanatic, that his rebellion was a work of fanaticism, and what the critics of Nat Turner, and they weren't just critics, they were appalled by what he did, even though it was true, he was a religious zealot. They exploited that fact in order to obscure what were the roots of his rebellion. Namely, they didn't want to acknowledge that there may have been a perfectly understandable, rational basis for his rebellion. They wanted to claim that it was just the work of a religious fanatic and those who he duped into this rebellion. And one historian, he said, and I quote it because I find it relevant, resonant, he said, yes, it's true. Rage burned in him. Rage burned in Nat Turner. Yes, it's true. He was a person of supreme rage. But then the historian says, this rage was fed by the prodigious chasm, the huge abyss, the prodigious chasm between what he was, a slave, and what he aspired to be in this, the only life he had. A prodigious chasm between what he was and what he aspired to be in this, his only life. And to me, that was the perfect summary of the people in Gaza. This huge chasm between the knowledge that they were born into, languished in, and would die in a concentration camp, and the self-knowledge that they could have done something with their life, and the opportunity to realize their aspirations have been denied them by the condition that they had been born into, by sheer arbitrariness. Nat Turner was born into his condition because he had a darker hued complexion. Completely arbitrary. And also not just arbitrary, but earthly made. The decision to inflict on him the slave condition. And it was the same thing with the people of Gaza. Well, what was the reaction to his rebellion? That to me was most important to look at. Obviously, white people, as I said, were enraged. African Americans were not. Almost immediately, Nat Turner became a folk hero among black people. They referred to him as Old Nat, and they referred to the rebellion as Old Nat's War. That to me was already a useful piece of information as the polling came out of Gaza, which showed that a majority of Gazans supported October 7th. And for those who